Well, I was looking at the Chevy to see why it doesn't start as easy cold as it used to. It used to use stab the gas once the floor turned the key and it would light right up instantly. And I've been, as you've seen in the last couple videos, had to crank on it for 15 or 20 seconds. But the choke is definitely working, as you can see with the accelerator, and it closes. But if you look, I don't know if I can show this. This will show up or not. It should squirt gas out of here from the accelerator pump. Absolutely nothing. And what I did was I took this rubber grommet off over the accelerator pump and put fuel down in there, and nothing happened. And look at how that's all, can you see how that moves around in the bore? It's like it's come apart. The car runs good. I mean, it doesn't hesitate. It gets up and goes when you step on it. But the accelerator pump certainly isn't working. So I'm going to pop top the carburetor off and have a look at it. Well, I have a look here. Here's the accelerator pump. There's part of it, and there's the other part. So, yeah, the inside of the flow bowls are pretty clean. There's a little like metallic colored stuff in the bottom of the bowls, but other than that, they're fairly clean. These are the little air bleeds, these little holes in the top. If those get dirty, they start hard hot. So I'm gonna give them a squirt out while the top's off. But let me get that pump out of there and see what we can do to make that thing work. Yeah, that's the other end of it right there. Let me get in a pair of needle nosers and we'll pull that little bit out of there. The floats all look good and everything. Yeah, it's surprising. The car ran absolutely perfect. I mean, it didn't hesitate. You'd step on the gas and it would jump and go, and yet it had zero accelerator pump. So what a difference it's going to make when we have an accelerator pump again. Let's see if we can't get that thing out of there. Oh yeah, see, it squirts. It just come apart. We'll see if we can put it together and make it work. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. You know, I put it back on, it seems to stay on. It doesn't, I've played with it here for a while to see if that's gonna pop back off. I'll get a new accelerator pump. I'll order a new one, but in the meantime I can put it back together and hopefully the car starts easy cold. And just, you know, I like to just touch the key. You know, the crankshaft shouldn't turn more than one turn and that engine should be running. And that's the way this is, and that's the way this always used to be. Stab the accelerator once the floor turned the key, it's running that quick. So hopefully this will make the difference. I'm going to play with this, make sure it doesn't come apart, and I'm going to throw the carburetor together. We'll give it a go and see if it starts, you know, at the touch of the key. All right, let me get this back in. As long as I had the top off, I decided to change the fuel filter. This little gasket there. This goes in, the spring goes behind it like so, and obviously the gasket on there. And when you do this, change your fuel filter. Do it with clean hands and clean your fuel inlet out on your carburetor, because if there's any dirt in that, it's going to end up in the needle and seat and causing you problems. Alright, it's all together, new fuel filter in there. Let's see if it's gonna squirt. It should squirt now. Let me see if I can get the camera set here to where I can, the choke, I'm gonna hold the choke open with my finger and just squirt. Yeah, see, it squirts now. So there, we'll set the choke. Hopefully it's not flooded, because I did squirt the air horn out a bit with carb cleaner, but let's that was a while ago. I had to run to the hardware and get some stuff. And so let's see, make sure it's in neutral. Now it always starts just at the bump of the key. Let's see what happens. More like it. Let's check for gas leaks. Squealing the belt when I give it some juice. that's a stone cold engine. It's actually running pretty good. So hopefully that takes care of the that's still nice and tight. Let me get my light and see. Make sure we're still shooting some gas down there. Oh yeah. Sucks it down almost instantly. It's hard to see, but we'll get a new accelerator pump and put it in there. That should still a little hesitating when I give it the juice. Adjust that. Well, I guess it doesn't have different holes to adjust it to. Yeah, this engine has more power than it squeals the belts when you accelerate it. Like if I wind it up in the lower gears, the belt will start squealing. It really needed a 4L belt. These cars, I think the tri-power engine cars and the 409 cars, they had a wider pulley on everything, ran a wider belt. They had an idler pulley too, so you wouldn't get belt squeal. Alright, I think that'll do the job. I just want to see if this accelerator pump is squirting, because barely, but it is squirting, but like I say, barely. We'll get a new accelerator pump. It looks like something's dripping. It's leaking around this right here, so I'll take a punch and tap that in a little bit. Yeah, it's leaking around that fitting. Let me see if I can show you. So these are little lead plugs, and you just tap them in a little when they leak. That usually stops them, just doing that. I may have a carb kit for this that I could rob the pump out of, but I mean, it's squirting, but it's just not like it should, so it definitely needs an accelerator pump. But it definitely runs better, and hopefully it'll start a little easier cold. Now, I pumped it a few times, so it might be a little flooded, so we'll give it a little gas. Yeah, I can definitely feel it even on the accelerator. Yep, needs an accelerator pump. I could put the Carter back on it, but that's been sitting so long with a rebuild kit in there, probably need to be gone through too. So I'll go look and see if I have a kit for this carburetor. If I do, I'll just wrap the accelerator pump out and throw it in, because otherwise this thing runs perfect. And then I'll just see if I can find another accelerator pump put back in the kit. see how that has stopped leaking now? That was seeping all around that. Those are like bits, like lead plugs. And if they seep, like I say, and there's another one right here. If they seep, all you got to do is tap them with a, take a punch and tap them. You don't need to whale them, just gently tap them. That they're kind of, you know, wedge shaped. They're narrower on the, once they widen out, you know, they start narrow and widen out. So you just tighten them up by tapping them in a little further. But yeah. Surprisingly runs good for not having an accelerator pump working. I don't really stab the gas that hard, you know, when I take off it's like that, you don't really notice it. But if I really stab it, I notice it. So let me see what I have. Well, let's see what I have here. I think this is a kit that's been opened. It's a 2-barrel Rochester kit, and there is no accelerator pump in it because I would have just used the pump out of this kit had it had one. Let me look through it. This is got a pump, but it's the wrong one. This is for a I don't know what it's for, to be honest with you. It says Mopar GM APB AMC, so it's for a Carter. Alright, so we'll set that one aside. That's for a Carter. I mean, it may have the... Well, let's see what I can find here. I got floats. This is from when I was in the boat business. I have any accelerator pumps. You could buy the accelerator pump separately. No, I got floats. Alright, let me find... Mercarb was kind of a Rochester carburetor. Let me see. That I think is a Quadrajet. That's a 2GC. That would have a correct. That's a Holly. Let's see that. The Mercarb is a Rochester. But let me see if we can find a kit here with an accelerator pump. This kit looks like it has the correct pump. Let me top the carburetor back off, and then we'll take a quick gander. Alright, this is the accelerator pump out of the Bel Air, and that's the one out of this kit, and you can clearly see they're different. So we'll go through kits until we find one that's like that. In this kit, the plastic had been compromised, so anyway, yeah, this is the same as like the other one. It's just this part isn't tall enough. So see how this has a spring in there? Now this I think is leather, not rubber, but I wonder if that had a spring. See how loose that's on there? It's probably swollen from the alcohol and getting the gas, but yeah, that's not a good fit on there. So I'm going to look in the carburetor and see if I'm missing a part from that accelerator pump. Let's see here. No, there's nothing down in there. I just fished that spring out, and so that must not have had a spring in it to begin with. There's the intake down there for the accelerator pump, and the main jets and the power valve if it shows up. All right, let me keep that in there so I don't misplace it. That spring might be the doohickey that holds it in place too, but let me see what I can find. Yeah, I picked up a whirligig in an estate sale I got to fix up, but I want to, this is the rubber off the accelerator pump in the car, and this has just a rubber one off this one. This was in a kit that was kind of missing parts, so I'm just going to see if this will solve the issue. Doesn't? Well, so be it. We'll get a kit, or we'll do something. But anyway, that fits a lot better on there. I think this one's just all swollen up from alcohol. This has been in that. I bet it's been 30 years since I rebuilt that carburetor. And so if I got 30 years out of that accelerator pump, yeah, I can't complain. I mean, this car's performed really well, and even with it not squirting fuel, it actually still performs quite well. All right, let me throw this in and see what happens. Let me see if I can hold the choke opened again. It's cooled down a little bit. And see what this accelerator. See if I can get the camera to show. It definitely, see how it squirts nice stream. All right, I don't want to flood it. This thing floods super easy. Let me crank it up and we'll see how it hesitates still. Oh, much better. Oh wow, what a difference. I bet that'll make it easier to fire up cold. It'll probably light right up at the touch of the key now like it should. That should be squirting gas out of those when I give it the gas here. Let's see if we can give you a review of it. Alright, I'd say that's all good. Maybe we'll let it, we'll take it out for a run, see how it rides on the road. Made sure I put this gasket back on here for the air cleaner base. Yeah, that runs nice now. Really made a difference, just getting that accelerator pump working. There we go, got the air cleaner back on. The thermostat hasn't opened yet. Still blowing cold air out the fan. Yeah, that runs a lot better. I don't want to tighten the belt up more to prevent it from squealing because it'll ruin the bearings in my water pump and my generator. And I don't want to do that. The belt is just plenty tight. It just, if you give it too much throttle. It's got the bigger fan blade on there that the 348s used, and that's probably why it squeals the belt. You can see by no means that belt is not, it's not loose. It's a good tight belt. So it just, like I say, it's got a fan blade. Well, you can't see it there. So it's got the fan blade. The 348s used a different fan blade than the 283s. There's the other blade. And they're kind of off center like that so they don't whine like a siren. That's just the way they did things. But anyway, there we go. Hopefully that'll solve my hard starting cold. You know, it'll give it a little squirt of fuel on the choke sets and it should light right up instead of having to set in the choke with no squirt of fuel and cranking it until it draws enough fuel to light up. So hopefully that, we'll wait until it's cold another day to try a cold start, but I think it'll be fine. Anyway, let's go for a quick ride. All right, let's see what, that's how it always starts, hot or cold, and hopefully it'll starting like that again cold. But it's nice pushing the accelerator and having instant response. I did notice there was a little bit of a lag in it, but not that bad. It wasn't anything to where I was worried about it, but what a difference. All right, let's go for a ride, and next day or two, tomorrow maybe. Well, no, I'm going to take the Galaxy. I think tomorrow I'm going to go to Culver's if it's nice in the evening, and I think I'll take the Galaxy. I took this last time, but we'll get it out and give it a cold start next day or two and see how it goes. So far, yeah. It's a lot more responsive. I didn't realize it was lacked that much response. I mean, it just goes. There's nothing. It just runs perfect. I doubt anyone will be out on Woodward on a Monday night, but I'm just going to take it for a run anyway because I can. Taking off from stops, yeah, it's a lot nicer to drive. Jeez, and we're moving along. There was only one other car out. It was an AMC Hornet, green one, real nice one. sure the car was in good running order. But put my foot down on it a little bit. It accelerates up pretty good. That was just putting it down about halfway to the floor. I want to turn around here, so I'm gonna get the turnaround thing. Wait for clearing and we'll get going. Hopefully that everything's been running perfect, so I have no complaints right now. Just let everybody go by, because everyone with old cars are like, me, I can't be behind an old car, it'll hold me up. So I could be doing 100 and they'll still want to pass me and be in front for fear of being held up. Mount it out a little bit. Yeah, she's running good. Just wanted to make sure everything was all good when I get home. I'll just pop the air cleaner off, make sure there's no more fuel leaks or anything. Looked all dry before I put the air cleaner on. I will turn the camera off here so I can change through all the gears after light changes. They were going slow. I was going to go around them, then he speeded up. It's got a, looks like a Mercruiser V6 on it. It's hard to tell, but it's definitely a V-block Mercruiser. Yeah, I'd say it's a 4.3. Oh no, it's a 5.0. It's a V8 or 7.4. Good lord, yeah, it's a definitely a boat power plant Mercruiser. Used to work on those. That's how I made my living, working on those. Well, let's see how it goes warm. I stopped and filled it with gas. It took 9 gallons. It was still, it was just about a half a tank left in the car. Yeah, it starts nice warm. And anyway, well, let's just see how it, yeah, nice. What a difference. I didn't realize the accelerator pump was bad. I mean, it drove pretty good, but I definitely noticed now it has a lot better pickup. Had a little bit of a lag, and it doesn't have it anymore. I mean, it wasn't that noticeable, but it was there. Turn the radio down. Nothing that aggravates me more than an engine performance issue, you know. These cars were designed to start at the touch of the key. You know, a lot of people think, oh, carburetors, you know, they're hard to start. If they're all set up correctly, and you should just be able to bump the key and the engine should start. And when they don't, that aggravates me. Just kind of, engine performance was always one of my #1 things that I was good at. I like, you know, especially on these old carbureted mechanical distributor engines. They're pretty simple, pretty easy to make them run correctly. I mean, this thing idles so smooth, you can't even feel it running. I would have shifted the gears other than with the camera. It's just easier just to let the motor wind out. Alright, I'm going to turn the camera off. There is as soon as this pickup goes by, and we'll run home and check for some fuel leaks, make sure nothing's leaking. I think that's one of the houses. This is in my neighborhood, but I think that's one of the houses that's going to be in that guy's book too, surprisingly, because he told me he did a house from here. So anyway, just thought I'd show that quickie. It all looks good, dry as a bone. Where that fuel is seeping from that, that's nice and dry. Just, you saw how I tapped it in. And everything looks good. I might, there's, just some crud on it from, from being run for a while, but I might just take a rag with some lacquer thinner and just wipe some of those areas down. But it all looks good, all runs good, and I'm pretty sure it'll start touch of the key cold now. That's what I think it was just lacking, that squirt of gas when I'd set the choke cold. But $100 says it'll light right up cold, and I'm not gonna try and start it again until I go to take it out next and go cruising. I don't like just starting them and stopping them. That's just really hard on the engine. I don't like starting them unless I'm taking them out on the road, to drive them. It's just better for the engine, and usually take it for a good run, not just a mile or two, enough to warm it up to operating temperature for long enough to get the moisture out of the crankcase and stuff. But anyway, there we go. It's all good now. So if you like the video, I haven't done many on the Bel Air, but if you like it, definitely hit the like button. If you like my channel, hit that 348 engine icon there, the same engine that's there, obviously. That'll subscribe you to my channel, and thank you for watching.